Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this nice introduction. Today, I was invited to raise awareness of the power of ecosystems and also the power what you can create within an ecosystem. And I'm also a bit here to advertise what we are doing, but this will come in the very end. I'm sure you might think you already are part of an ecosystem because you know every second person here on the conference, because you know every second company on the conference. This might be a nice network, but this is far away from an ecosystem. An ecosystem I want to talk about is an actual business model that was automatically developed alongside with the changing economy and the digitalization of the economy, and also the involvement of a lot of deep tech that is coming now to change our economy. And not only economy, also the society, as you know. So what is this business model about? The business model, the character of this business model is that the problem of the customer is in the center. No matter which sectors it might be touched to solve the problem. And I know some of you might not even have customers working in quantum. We will come to that later. But see customer as a needy player. An ecosystem is also characterized by the aim of not having the biggest share of your market you're in as quick as possible. It's more characterized by building up the market, often with your competitors, and then later sharing the shares. And this comes along with a whole different mindset you need to grow when you want to really work in an ecosystem. The old ecosystems, I'm also like to refer to the old ecosystems where you have top-down approaches controlled by a few that don't work in this new world. Think about only a classical ecosystem to tackle the world's problems. You're all concerned of, right? Climate change, new technologies in your sector you're working in. You cannot tackle the problems alone. You need a huge ecosystem. Partnerships is also not enough. So ecosystems come in very different forms. To start very easily, I like the example of Tesla. Tesla is not only an electric car producer. What is Tesla selling? Tesla is selling a healthy world, a good world, a renewable world. It's another discussion how renewable it is. But this is what Tesla is selling. If they would work if they would work in an ecosystem, they would only sell cars. But they sell electric cars. They sell solar panels, Powerwall batteries, and a supercharger network. And why? Because in the center there is a customer that wants a sexy and a very easy solution to be sustainable. They don't really care if it's an electric vehicle or how this vehicle is driving. They want the solution of a clean car. And this is what Tesla is offering them. Another very different ecosystem I like is the port of Rotterdam. In the center of this ecosystem is the port of Rotterdam themselves and their problem. Their problem is they decided to be climate neutral in 2050. But to reach this goal, it's one of the global biggest ports. To reach this goal, they need a lot of partners. They need huge ecosystem. But the main challenge is they have to improve efficiency of the energy. They could never do it with only one or two partners. They need to transform towards a new sustainable energy system. They also need to develop new materials to optimize their ways, and also to develop a new food system, for example. What they did, they gathered an ecosystem around of 40 European companies, 10 universities and research institutes, and 3 competitors. And the goal is to solve the problems, to solve the challenges, growing the benefits for everyone that is involved, and then sharing the shares. This is the character of a business model. To come a bit closer to quantum, one of the technologies they used, this is not the Port of Rotterdam, this is an example of the Port of LA, but the Port of Rotterdam also announced now to use quantum technology to build up a quantum communication infrastructure and also to optimize their logistics. By using quantum computing, just as an example, using optimization, using quantum computing to optimize the logistics, the Port of LA, the value increased of 300% within only 3 years. This is the technology you are working in. This is the value you are sitting on, just to make you aware. So what does this all have to do with you now? Okay, a bit of quantum in the Port of Rotterdam or LA, but Tesla in the port itself, what does it have to do? It's very easy. It's in the nature of deep tech lies that it needs a whole ecosystem to grow. You all work in an environment that will change the economy and the society tremendously. And you need a lot of different players. And a very short look in the history, in the economic history, shows that it is the ecosystem players that now share the biggest market cap. Within 20 years, we had a tremendous change. Now, 8 out of 10 companies are ecosystem companies sharing the biggest market cap. And this is where we are heading to. And you should also care because you're driving a revolution with working in quantum technology that McKinsey names the largest economic transformation. I didn't find a wording from EY, I'm sorry. And the McKinsey study also estimated that the ecosystem economy could generate 70 to 100 trillion. This is 1/3 of the global gross economic output over the next few decades. This is the ecosystem you want to be part of. The ecosystem economy is so closely related to deep tech because it fosters an environment that promotes collaboration and network, that promotes knowledge transfer between the players, that also promotes a funding and investing. For us, as we are also investing a company that is born out of an ecosystem, for us it's a much lower risk because we know they have access to partners, they have access to customers, they have access to academia. An ecosystem also promotes a talent pool and also helps when it comes to a regulatory and policy supports, what we all still have to do in quantum. This is the ecosystem we created. Our customers, in our center, there is the startups. We believe that the technology will be developed by the startups, and the startups need this ecosystem to grow. They need money, they need venture partners, they need hardware access partners, they need academia network, they need a corporate network for finding customers and projects. They need other ecosystems to exchange. This is what we believe in, and we decided to build an ecosystem and to orchestrate this ecosystem. When you enter an ecosystem, you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to be a player of the ecosystem, one of the parts I just showed? Or do you want to orchestrate it, bringing the dots together? This is what we are doing in Basel. We founded a company called Kai Ventures. We were born out of a bigger ecosystem from Uptown Basel. It's a private funded project, funded by a private investor that wants to develop Industry 4.0. We focused, when I entered the project, we thought about what is Industry 4.0. It's a nice buzzword, but what does it really mean? What technologies will disrupt the industries? And we focused very fast on quantum technology. So what we do in Uptown Basel is we offer hardware access to the industry, and we also develop startups. This is the site we are building. It will be a whole site, 70,000 square meters, 2,500 working places. We will now have the first commercially usable quantum computer on site from IonQ. and a lot more to come. That's the only thing I will talk about now, but we are building up, we are very strong. The whole project exists since 7 years. Now Quantum Basel and Kai Ventures, we exist since only not even a year, and we are growing very fast. How do we build up this ecosystem? This is what Kai Venture is doing. We attract startups by investing. We have a first fund. And I say the first because we will not stop there. We have a first 50 million fund with which we invest into 25 startups over the next 3 to 5 years. We invest up to 2 million, up to Series A. And that's very important and that's very unique. We invest globally. All the other funds that exist now that are pure quantum, they are obliged to invest in their countries because the money is public. We only raise and will raise private money. We don't want to be dependent from anyone else. As soon as we invest, we invite the startups, or we make them actually to come on site to join our accelerator. And in this accelerator, we see the real instrument of ecosystem building, because in this accelerator, we connect the startups to our industry partners. We find them projects, we find them partners, we give them another cash component, we give them free office space for 1 year, we give them a one-to-one tailored mentoring. So we don't have a normal acceleration program. We see in the due diligence what challenges that startups might face, and we do a one-to-one tailor-made mentoring program for every startup. We also give the startups access to quantum computers and the engineers behind. So you won't work in a cloud, you will work with the real computers and the real engineers. This is our team. We are at Kai Ventures, we are 4 growing to 6 this year. We have in the extended team 4 quantum physicists. I wear a t-shirt. We are hiring, we are looking for another quantum physicist as soon as possible. So if you're interested, please feel free to approach me. We have known investors in our investors committee, and of course we involve the not the most important, very important, but the closest academia network into our advisory board. So now I hope the next time someone is talking about ecosystem, you think twice and you prepare to really be part of our ecosystem. And if you are still very sector focused, be aware that your sector will be disrupted very soon. I want to invite you to Basel, visit us, see what we do, and please approach me if you have any questions. Thank you so much.